up Wednesday night at Yankee Stadium. You and I'll be there. That'll be some fun as Liverpool take on Manchester City. They'll finish out next weekend against AC Milan down in Charlotte. If they get there, they'll have the International Champions Cup final in Miami a week from Monday. And then their last preseason match will be against Borussia Dortmund at Anfield a week before. August 17th, they open up the league against Southampton. And it's a big start of the season as well. Manchester City and Tottenham as well in those first three games. The challenge is going to be quickly upon them in just a couple of weeks.
Because everyone will be looking, you're a one-man team. You've lost your best player. You're not that, you're not that level anymore. And that's the mentality the players have got to have. No, we're not a one-man team. We've got to make sure that we can prove. They're going to have to share the goals around as well. So I think from that responsibility that they have, the coach, is to push him forward. And he's been intelligent enough to say silverware. So he might look at the League Cup, possibly the FA Cup.
Well, Olympiakos, as we mentioned, they already opened up on Thursday night up in Toronto. They beat AC Milan 3-0 their final match in the group stage of the International Champions Cup against Manchester City. That'll be in Minneapolis next Saturday on Fox Sports 2. And then they've got a game against Athletic Bilbao of Spain. They'll play against Fenerbahce, the defending Turkish champions, on the road before opening up their season August 24th. And again, they are, like Liverpool and Manchester City, straight into the group stage of the UEFA Champions League. Might be playing one of those two teams in the group stage as we take a look back at really the big action point in the first half. 5th minute, it was Raheem Sterling, the game's only goal so far.
Yeah, and it was a good pass by Steven Gerrard. And as Eric rightly said in the studio there, he just takes a chance. Take the chance, and very fortunate that you take what you can. For Sterling, with his confidence, doing the world of good as well. But it's my only criticism. Once they got the goal, they never went on again. They sort of sat back, and you tend to do that in pre-season. Got a goal and sort of that sigh of relief, but they never really took the game onto that next level. And I think that's what Brendan would be saying there. Can we go up another gear?
Because you made the point that Olympiakos perhaps was sitting back too much early on,
yes,
showing too much respect. It flipped after that goal. It was Olympiakos with a lot of the possession. As we take a look at the standings in this group, again, Manchester City, a thumping win over AC Milan. Olympiakos already with the 3 points. Liverpool, of course, is coming into the day. No points so far. The group winner goes on to the final. It's only pre-season, but AC Milan, 7 goals against, none scored in 2 matches. That's not a good start.
No, definitely not. And the way they've given away the cheap goals, it was very poor defending on Thursday in Toronto. And again, highlighted, Eric was in the studio, we're doing it together, Yanis. Again, they don't have that determination to close people down, and that's a bad habit to have as a defender. On the flip side, you've seen the positivity of the Manchester City players. You've seen Olympiakos as well scoring goals. But already we're looking at a table, and that changes the pre-season mentality, doesn't it? Who's going to fit? And it's natural, it's competitive edge that you have as a professional player.
Because we see coaches and hear coaches often downplaying these things. Sometimes I think for PR spin in case they lose a training game. But you really feel that for the players to have a little bit more on it maybe helps them prepare better for the season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll go back again to my experience. We played in the Intertoto Cup for Newcastle that got you into Europa. And that gave us a good foundation. We went and got into the Champions League for that season. And straight away, we had that edge, we had that mentality, you had something on the game. And these type of situations in games, it's only really when you lose, you start saying, oh, it's only pre-season.
We may have had a business Spinal Tap moment with the teams getting lost down below. They are finally re-emerging for the second half here at Soldier Field. The second half which sees Liverpool start 1-0 up over Olympiakos. Perennial 3 champions against Liverpool side, who of course came oh so close to their first title in 20 years. That's before the beginning of the Premier League. And it's been interesting hearing some of their comments even on this tour to Liverpool players. Rather than feeling devastated by what happens, the message seems to be, we overachieve for our expectations and we have confidence we can go one further. Do you believe it when they say that?
Again, go back to my experience. When you lose it, when you're that close and you've virtually got one hand on it, which they had at Selhurst Park, and then it's ripped away from you, it's hard to get that momentum back. And again, losing their key player, that's what you have to strive for. You have to say, well, maybe we did overachieve. You have to try and take some pressure off you. But Brendan knows, when you manage Liverpool Football Club as an institution, it comes with pressure and responsibility. He enjoys that environment. Now does his players, does his younger players enjoy that? And 1 or 2 of his senior players help him out.
We will have some changes coming in here for both teams. Jack Robinson, Coutinho, and Joe Allen all coming on. Olympiakos preparing 4 changes as well.
Robinson was fit on the left back. And Marike, as I said, looked a bit heavy-legged in now.
Jack Robinson, a 20-year-old who has been with Liverpool in one form or another since the age of 9. And you see the Olympiakos players huddling around the fourth official before being allowed on.
I'm pleased to see Dominguez, number 10. I like him.
And we'll do our best to catch up to all those changes as we go throughout this second half. Olympiakos in red, Liverpool with black.